So Bash, you keep on there's your link. I'm gonna talk about that link right now. You keep on bashing the idea of nasal spray, nasal spray of oregano oils and stuff like that. The other day I brought up iodine because I've heard that from another doctor, and there's another study talking about nasal sprays and the good it does. Now, what it says in the abstract there is talking about it, and this is a possible reason why people test positive sometimes. Is it says in the abstract that that when you when you breathe in COVID, it stays in your nasal passage. It says in the article for a while, whatever that means. That could be an hour, that could be whatever. Don't know what it is. But the point is, it doesn't immediately infect you. It has to bind to some receptors for the whole process. So if you catch it, right, by rinsing your nose out with something that's antiseptic that kills it, then you knock it in its ass. That's what the whole thing is. I repeat, right? That's a possible reason why people test positive and show no symptoms because they haven't it hasn't actually binded into their system yet. That's the key behind it. But we can't trust Bash card because only medical terms he knows is fucking moron. Friendly fire, your mouth.
He's made me cough. Excuse me. Yeah, that's kind of true. From what I understand about the viral load, is that you get enough viruses in your nasal passages, pharyngeal area. So the way I visualize it is, it could be wrong, but it's a little bit like the Trojans and the Trojan horse and the Troy and everything. The Greeks are inside, and they get inside, and if there's enough of them, they can overpower the defending army soldiers inside the city, right? So in other words, if I'm right, while the virus is infecting them, they're being attacked by antibodies and vitamin D in the immune system, and if there's enough, they can overcome the antibodies and infect the cells and achieve victory. It's a little bit like Trojan War over again. With soldiers on the enemy side, they can overcome any sort of defense as long as the numbers increase and there's enough of them to survive. I think that's the way it is in the body, but I'm not really sure the neurologists or epidemiologists. And the other thing is, I was wondering about A stuff, is that I'm a little surprised you said you were taking 10,000 units of vitamin D a day for weeks beforehand, then you got COVID, it didn't make any difference. I'm not sure, that doesn't really fit the pattern. Were you taking vitamin C and zinc and ivermectin at the same time? Did you try monoclonal antibodies? That was the biggest thing, monoclonal antibodies. It's sort of a wide spectrum of T cells that will fit onto almost anything. Apparently it's not useful against, according to the CEO of Regeneron, it's not quite effective. This is about a few weeks ago. It was not effective against Omicron, but Omicron is a weaker variant. And I wanted to tell Ace that it's most likely it comes not from vaccines. I thought like you, is a reaction against the vaccine, mutates to resist the vaccine and mutate into something else. But that doesn't seem the case with Omicron. Apparently it's from mice. It's leaped into an animal host and attacked that. It's most likely mice, not camels or pangolins or bats, but it looks like mice are the go-between. And the Omicron looks like it's evolved to fit mouse physiology. And so it seems to have gone into mice and then back into humans and affects humans weaker than the other variants, and it's not actually related to Delta or even Alpha. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. It is related to Alpha, then it comes from the original virus strain. And Delta goes off in one direction evolutionarily. But the Omicron seemed to have disappeared from the radar for months. It apparently appeared in early 2020. And it just sort of disappeared. Now, where did it go? Well, the theory, according to some Chinese scientists, is that it went into mice and it leaked back into human beings. And it didn't go the same pathway as the Delta variant. And there's sort of a new strain that's adapted itself into life in the mouse genetic system and it leaked into human beings. Where it first appeared, I don't know. Whether it first appeared in China or South Africa or where, I don't know. But the result of the paper was that it's adapted to mouse DNA, most likely mice, and it's not created as a result of interference by a vaccine. So, where does that leave us? Well, I don't know where it leaves us, but it does seem Omicron is a blessing. It's like a miracle, good thing, in that if it overshadows the other variants, I don't know if it will, because COVID can leap into animals as well. And like a doctor in I forget if it was Michigan or something, and he said it has an animal reservoir. So in other words, while it's not in humans, it could be alive in animals. And in fact, there was some, I think 3 deer. Someone posted an article on 3, I think it was deer or moose, I don't know which. Where they found COVID infecting the animal. So in other words, it can live in animals and jump back into humans. So you'll never get rid of it. It always had backup system. Yeah, and if you keep maintaining the vaccine is the only way, what you're doing is giving people a false sense of security. You're not actually curing anything, and you're not getting rid of anything. In fact, you're just as contagious if you're vaccinated as if you're not. And all this thing about hospitals and vaccinated versus unvaccinated professional, there's no point in that. I mean, a doctor or a nurse who's had somebody with Delta or Omicron, they have it, and up to a few days before they show symptoms, they can give it to everybody else. Whether they're vaccinated or not, doesn't matter. So it doesn't make any sense. The government is just not making any sense. It looks to me like they simply want to create a market for Pfizer vaccines. They're getting money from the government, and the government's getting money from Pfizer as a kickback, and they're just maintaining this illusion that the vaccine is the way to go. It's not. It's from a combination of things, possibly including monoclonal antibodies, vitamin D, zinc with ivermectin. I don't know much about oxychloroquine, and some other therapeutics. That is really the way to go. Combination of things, not one thing. The government is pushing one thing because they get kickbacks and because the hospital gets money from the government, and it's all a political scam. So I'm thinking, this is not science. It's not medicine. It's taking advantage of the public. It's not trying to cure them.
Okay, I did it. I took 2 turmeric capsules and mixed it in with applesauce. I can't even taste it. Can't even see it either, so that worked really well. It said to eat with food, so that's good. I'm going to do that 3